Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Brad from Lone Wolf Mobile Bushcraft. Today you're actually joining me in my kitchen. Not because it's raining outside, it is raining outside, but moreover, I want to give this experiment as fair a shot as possible. So I want to do it without wind, without rain, without anything affecting the experiment and this video. So what is the video today? Well, you probably already noticed that I've got some of the wax crayons out in front of the camera there, and there has been plenty of people and places that say you can use these as an emergency candle. Now, I'm not disputing that fact, because they are made from wax essentially, but I just want to see how long they burn. Some people claim they can burn half an hour, which, if that is the case, this is going to be a very long video, but I personally don't think they're going to burn that long. So I'm going to move the box now. Okay, so in front of us here we've got 3 candles. Just for the sake of clarity, I have melted some ordinary candle wax in there to help them stand up. Let's put that back on there, make sure they're all in shot. Okay. So I'm going to light these. Now, I know from past experience they take a little while to get going, so it may take 2 or 3 matches, which is the first con of these, really. Really, you're better off using a lighter. Let's get this slightly melted. And any second now it should catch light. Yeah, it's taken a while to get going. I have to light another match at this rate, I think I will. Like I say, this is obviously a lot easier with lighters. You don't have to worry about burning your fingers. So what I'm trying to do here is just get the wax melted and absorbed into the paper, so the paper becomes essentially the wick. It doesn't look like this. There we go. So that's one crayon, and it's taken 2 matches so far. Not a good endorsement at the moment, but there we go. Get it melted down a bit. Now I'm going to leave the video running in real time so that you can see how long these actually last. Once again, start getting the wax melted, absorbed into the paper, so that the paper becomes the wick essentially. And that spitting's a good sign. It just basically means that paper is about to go up. And on to the 4th match. Exactly a stunning endorsement for these as emergency candles so far, is it? Like I say, I am inside today just to give this as fair an opportunity as it can. This crayon doesn't want to go up. It's spitting. There we go. I'm not even going to risk it. Start the next one. I'm wondering if the colour actually makes a difference, because you can see the red The red crayon, it's got a lot longer flame. Not necessarily brighter, but certainly a lot longer flame. And that was my fault. Really, I should have a normal candle here just for comparison. But I don't think I'm going to need it. Oh dear. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 matches so far. This is the 7th. The one in the middle's almost gone out. There we go. Okay, so the one in the middle's almost gone out. And it's taken me, what, nearly 5 minutes to get all 3 lit. The middle one is still going. You can't quite see it on camera, but the middle one is still going. Just a little bit of a flame there. I will of course light it again if it does go out. Now these are, that one has gone out, okay. These are being prepped as if they were actually candles. I have experimented with another way, in a different direction, but I will show you that after these ones are out. I'm not just going to show you how long these candles last as how long these crayons last as an emergency candle. I'm going to show you a couple of other different bits and pieces as well that you can do with them. And once again, that middle, yep, that middle one's just gone out. So I think we can safely say that the brown pencils, the brown crayons, they're not that good. I'm just going to open the back door, guys, just let some of the smoke out. So I think we can safely call that one, the middle one, dead. And the one on the right looks like it's about to fall. About to stop working as well. I'm just going to trim the wick. There we go. So, as the brown one's gone out, I might as well move on to the one that I was going to do anyway. Does it make a difference if we turn it up? Because some people have realised that from this angle all that's happening is the wax is just running straight down and therefore not providing any fuel. So what happens if we turn the crayon over and light it up like this? Split match. I'll try that again. That's my fault. so that's lit. Because what's basically happening now is as the wax is heating up and running down the paper tube, it's effectively acting as a wick. The paper is acting as a wick and causing it and giving fuel to the flame. Whether it lasts as long or not, that's a different matter. Not a lot of light being given off, but there is some in there. I wonder if we can, yeah. Again, trim the wick. Yeah. I am having all sorts of problems with this brown crayon, so I bet it's actually the coloration on the inside. There we go, right. Just trim the wick of this one. So you notice the flames have started dancing about a bit. That's because, like I say, I've got the back door open just to get rid of some of the smoke. Shouldn't have too much effect on what I'm doing here. And just trim that wick down. Okay, so these have been going just short of 10 minutes now. And with various different results. So the one in the middle obviously didn't like being lit as a candle. The one on the right, as long as you keep trimming down the wick, getting rid of all the burnt paper, it just keeps going. The one on the left is pretty much the same. Now, the one on the right was from the red end of the spectrum, or from the red spectrum, should I say, of the colours, and so was the one on the left. Or the one on the left is actually orange. The one in the middle, that was brown. So potentially, I don't even know where it fits on the colour spectrum, but I'm wondering if it's something to do with the colours. Be an interesting experiment for next time. Have to get hold of another full box and probably a lighter, actually. Try and get them all lit as best as possible. Now, what is interesting, just looking at this, is the one on the right, the one I lit first, is burning very, very quickly. And obviously has burnt more than the other two. But even by comparison, that's burnt a lot quicker than the orange one on the left. And you can see what's happening to the brown one. Okay, so the brown crayon itself has actually just collapsed straight into the tuner tin, and I'm anticipating the whole lot's just going to go up in flames in any second now. Okay, so the red one's just fallen over. And it's doing the same as the brown ones, just start to burn the whole lot now. Run just nice and gently as a candle would. Okay, so the red crayon and the middle crayon have pretty much gone out. There's only smoking remnants left. And it's taken no more than 15 minutes to burn. However, the one on the left, the orange one, is still going. So this is real time, guys. So it's been what, 18 minutes and 20 seconds since I started the video, and more or less about 15 minutes since I lit the 3 crayons. And one thing that has that I think is pretty conclusive is the orange ones, at the moment anyway, are the best ones. Best ones in terms of lighting as candles. As I say, I'm going to show you a couple of other things you can do with wax crayons in emergency situations. Whether they'll work or not, I don't know, but that's what part of the experiment is, part of the fun is. Again, as I said earlier, one thing you need to keep doing with these is just removing all the burnt paper, because it will suffocate the flame. Okay, I've just shut the door again so that the flame should steady out. Just as a comparison to when I lit the crayon, it's just at the moment it's now just hitting the Y of Crayola. Just to give you an idea. That much is burnt. So we're down to about that much. Pretty impressive for something that's essentially just a drawing implement. There's not a lot of mess either, unlike the other two, which has left a lot of colour residue in the bottom of the tins. Nope, that was entirely my fault. I'm going to leave that there. Probably burn quicker now. So, can you use wax crayons as emergency candles? I think we've proven conclusively that yes, you can. They won't burn for very long, but yes, you can, but you have to have the right colour. Definitely would not recommend brown. Would recommend the orange, but they are a bugger to light. They do take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort to get lit. So in terms of candles, wax crayons do work, but there are probably better uses for them. Whether you add them to your own survival kit is entirely up to you. I'm not going to push you either way. That is entirely your decision. And I'll be back in a second with some other uses for wax crayons. Okay guys, so the candles are pretty much burnt out now. In fact, they are burnt out. And I did mention at the end of the candles burning that I'd be showing you something else, some of the other things that you could potentially do with these wax crayons. Whether they'll work or not is a different matter, but it's always worth experimenting and trying these things out. So, first thing I'm going to do, which colour shall I use? Well, I don't have the black ones left. Any the dark colours left? Yeah, I'll take one of the blue ones, I think. What's this one called? Beautiful. So that's the new one. Okay. So first thing we're going to try is I'm going to take this paper. You can tear it in half. It doesn't matter if I screw it up or not. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just wet it slightly. Just turn the tap on. Just run it underneath. Get it a little bit moist. Now then, this experiment is, can I write with a wax crayon on wet paper? Let's find out. My guess is no. And I'm wrong. you can actually write on wet paper. Although it does tear if you're not careful. So, there you go. Haven't written any specific word. I've just done a little bit of scribbling, but it works. Now then, this one I'm pretty confident will work. Just going to write an ordinary word. Making sure not to get the paper wet to begin with. What should we do? Okay, so all I've done there is I've just written blue crayon. Again, get the tap running, nice and gently, not too much. Pass it underneath. Does the wax run off? No, of course it doesn't. So it's still nice and legible after being run under the tap. So, you can use wax crayon as a form of communication if you needed to. It will write on wet paper and it won't run once it's wet. You can use an ordinary pencil for that as well. What else could you potentially use it for? Well, you may remember in one of my last videos that I had this. The hand chainsaw, flexible saw, whatever you want me to call it. Now, one of the problems I identified with this is that because it's riveted, you would need to keep it lubricated. Now, obviously, ideally, you would use some form of oil, potentially machine oil, something like that, to keep it lubricated. What if you don't have any oil, but you do have one of these? Will it work? Well, let's find out. Let's find a joint. Let's go for this one here. Part of the problem with this, of course, is that the joint doesn't open up enough for you to get any wax in there. It feels a little bit smoother. A little bit. Let's try it on another link. Let's go for that one. What I'm doing here is I'm just using the point, just smearing some of that wax in. Again, it feels a little bit smoother. Would I recommend it though? In a pinch, in an emergency, maybe, but you'd probably find something far, far better than a wax crayon to lubricate the links on these flexible saws. That's just my opinion though. Okay, last but not least, I have here a bowstring. It's an old bowstring. You can probably tell by the way it's fraying like that. My bow has got a brand new string. Why I've kept hold of this old bowstring, I don't know, but it's handy for what I'm about to experiment with. So I think you can guess where this is going, and I can already hear the archers out there wincing in pain. But remember, this is if you had nothing else. Now I've got proper string wax for my bow. This is I've got nothing else, but I need to make sure my string is maintained type of thing. Putting a lot of pressure on the crayon, which means it's breaking. I've only done a short amount, I haven't done the whole lot obviously. It's not done too bad a job actually. Would I recommend it for bowstrings? I'm kind of on the fence really. Not done too bad a job, but I prefer to have proper string wax for it. Don't worry, this string won't be going back on my boat anytime soon. Like I say, I'm not even sure why I kept it. But it seems to have done alright actually. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with that one. Okay, so in conclusion, what have we found out? Well, you can use wax crayons as emergency candles, just don't expect them to last too long, and don't expect certain colours to last any length of time at all. Can you use them to lubricate your hand chainsaw, flexible saw, whatever you want to call it? Yes, but there's better options out there. Can you use it to wax your bowstring? Yes, but again, there's better alternatives out there. Can you use them for writing on wet paper? Yes, you can. As I said at the start, whether you include these in your emergency kit or not is entirely up to you. I'm still kind of on the fence. I need a little bit more convincing either way. But anyway, thank you very much for joining me, and I shall see you in the next one.